is I've always been interested in lots of different things. I've never been just interested in dance. And I've never felt that there had to be a distinction between working with somebody in an artistic domain and a scientific domain, or a domain where kind of intelligence and interest works elsewhere, where curiosity exists, where curiosity rests. I mean, I think dance is an inherently collaborative art form. I think, you've always got the materiality of the body, and that body is kind of filled with intentions and ideas and kind of physical signatures and its training history and all of those things. And I think your job as a choreographer is really to draw out aspects of that and find a way in which that kind of coalesces with some of the things that you're bringing to the table. I think there was something about this necessity to find out what was happening inside the body and inside the mind, and how those two things connected together that would inform our practice. We had to actually understand, what do we mean by choreographic thinking or physical thinking?
Our research was the result, in a way, of several years of working together on projects with Wayne and some of the collaborating scientists without a plan. But somehow it seemed to make sense that we would inaugurate this department to shift a little bit, or prepare the shift away from working only in the studio with Wayne on collaborative projects. That was the focus initially.
We work so much physically thinking about what the relationship is between me, the choreographer, and dancers on the outside. But of course, there's a whole internal mechanism that's not usually exposed. Even the psychology of dancers you don't really explore when you're thinking about how is a piece made. I think what we found over time, that we've gravitated to those scientists where we feel that we have these really personal connections, that we can understand what it is that they are explaining to us, partly because of their skills and eloquence, and be able to communicate quite difficult things easily to us. But that actually we feel that it's a shared environment, an environment where actually we can have a dialogue.
Originally, when Wayne and I first started to discuss this kind of research, he had expressed an interest in artificial intelligence and neural nets.
You're starting to get a range of circumstances that conspire to develop choreographic type behavior, and those things are useful, and not only are they useful, they're stimulating to work with. They provide a kind of a new source of inspiration, and I think that's what's exciting about having some sort of artificially intelligent agent that works with you in the studio.
We made a decision at some point to focus our research questions on the field of cognitive science more generally. The thinking there is that artificial intelligence by itself, within the frame of computer science, might be too limited, at the point that we probably needed a broader understanding of the intelligence that we might wish to artificially build. But thinking with the body is a way of opening up questions about the nature of what we might think of as body intelligence. What is the intelligence of the body? That calls into question relationships between cognition, emotion, sensation, all of the different aspects. It merges body and mind in a phrase. The collaborating researchers we work with have different conceptions of what thinking with the body might be. We were able to name 3 separate projects that we were working on. One was choreographic thinking tools. The other was distributed creative or choreographic cognition. And the third was the choreographic language agent, what's known as the CLA.
I think what's important to say is that all of the relationships with the various scientists that we've worked with have all been very distinctive and very different, and they all have their own kind of character. And that feels to me very analogous with the way in which you work with visual artists, for example. They all have their own kind of peculiarity or specificity, or thing that you really connect with, or the thing that you feel a little bit more distance from but are actually interested in. I think all of the work that we're doing with the cognitive scientists is very much about, at the end of the day, how we can test and provoke and question the nature of the body, the way in which the body moves, interactions with the body, relations with body in space, all the fundamental kind of choreographic questions that you would have, but just through this very, very different filter.